welcome in True Sky Scorpio for your reading for the month of June. Welcome to my channel. I hope you're having a fantastic day, and this month will be interesting. So the underlying energy here we have from this deck, the Sacred Circle deck is the main deck I'm using for the month. For the transit through the solar transit through the sign of True Sky Taurus, actually, it's going to change around the 20th to Gemini, and then I'll choose a new deck then. So it's actually regret. So it's the Five of Cups. So there's an underlying energy of regret for you, Scorpio. Not sure exactly what area in your life that this is. However, the first card we have for you is the Four of Discs, which is the card of materialism. So this regret could very well be linked with resources, financial resources. So the Four of Discs talks about being concerned with your resources. You have some, but maybe not enough to proceed forward, and that maybe you are putting too much importance onto these physical resources and holding too tightly onto it, and unfortunately it can bring a very stagnant energy with it when you hold on too tight. So the next card we have, which is your crowning card for the month, is actually the Seven of Discs. So there's a lot more energy here, a lot more resources. So this lack may be something you're coming out of. You know, you're learning not to hang on too tightly, and to not regret. You know, maybe you have wasted some money, I'm not sure, but the Seven of Discs is very much about looking at your past actions with resources and, you know, figuring out what has been successful for you and then moving ahead with decisions linked to that in the future with your resources. So it's a really good time to, whether or not you have like a financial planner or, you know, some kind of app where you can track your spending or something like that, or you've got a savings account or something like that, but there's some focus on resources here and figuring out where the gains and losses are, which is very smart. The next card we have is the Queen of Cups, intuition. So this could be you. It's a feminine energy. It doesn't have to be a female. It could be just that energy. So it's the very intuitive, caring, empathic type of energy. The Queen of Cups is very much linked to the water signs. So your Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. If it's an individual in your life, it could be one of those signs or those planets or house placings like predominant in their chart. Potentially also this Queen of Cups could be even linked in here. Maybe not so much with the loss, but there could be a connection with the loss, but also with this prudence. So maybe you will learn to use your intuition with your finances and going ahead, you know, listen to those gut feelings. The next card we have is another Queen. So this time, however, we have the Queen of Discs. She is a very abundant feminine. She has all that she needs. She's of the earth suit. So it could be someone in your life or an aspect that you need to learn in your life. And her meaning is expression. So the earth suits are your Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn sign. And then the houses would be like the 2nd, 6th, and 10th houses, and then the planets ruling those signs as well. So they could be really predominant in her chart. And then she is also linked to our central card, or all these cards are actually. So our central card for you for the month is the Tower. So this month is going to bring significant change in your life. There's going to be a disruption of order. There's going to be something really dramatic happen that will destroy something in your life. Potentially it could be financial, mostly due to the fact that we have 3 pentacle cards connected here to the Tower. However, it's quite a neutral energy. You could say negative, but it's not all bad. It's a bit of a 0-point card, so it kind of clears the field a little bit. But it can also suggest a new beginning as well. And especially here with the next card, we have the High Priest for you. So the High Priest is all about manifesting, asking those questions, what it is you want in your life, what it is you want to create, what it is you want to put your energy into. And after this Tower, you will be seriously questioning these things, because maybe something that has collapsed was something you were attached to. Some material thing. It could even be a lover. I mean, we've got 2 queens here. There could be some situation here that didn't work out. I'm not really seeing that too much, like love cards or anything, but it could be just people in your life. Here, the next card we have, this is a really intense reading, but it very much, I think, links to that Scorpio type of energy. I mean, Scorpios generally don't live dull lives. They generally live very passionately, and they can be known to be very transformative characters. So we have the card of initiation. So this card very much talks about transitions in life and life phases. So there is a really significant transition in your life this month. This is a really big month for you, and having it with the Tower, much change, so much change. The next card also with the 9 of Swords. This card very much talks about, anxieties, nightmares, potentially like migraines. It's a very, not the most positive card for the mental sphere. However, ultimately, the advice is that you need to realize that a lot of this is in your mind, and that yes, maybe some loss has occurred in your life at this time, and you may be really feeling that on the mental level, like not able to sleep, and needing maybe even someone to talk to and someone to guide you. Maybe at this time would be a really good thing to do, to look for some kind of guidance. The next one we have is the Underworld. So really intense energies for you, this main deck here. So the Underworld is similarly linked with this initiation card, in that it is linked to transitions, but it's very much about transformation, which is such a Scorpio energy. So it's all about, the shadow. If you can do some shadow work, keep a shadow journal even. That could be really, really important for you this month. This could be your Dark Night of the Soul month. Just looking at this, Underworld, the Tower, initiation, it's going to be a really significant month for you. The next cards I'm going to clarify with are the Greenwich Tarot. And on the bottom of the deck, we do have the Horned God, which is the traditional, it's like the Emperor card. So it's very much linked with the fatherhood, and also leadership, being a leader in your own life. So these energies could also be quite predominant this month for you. Maybe there is even some regret around your father, or within yourself if you are a father, or some regret to do with maybe becoming or not becoming a father. There is a link there with this regret and the father and this leadership energy. So to clarify the 4 of Discs, the materialism, we have the 6 of Chalices. So this card is very much about nostalgia. It's linked to childhood and children and early life, but also potentially past life. So there could be some children involved here. There could also be someone from your childhood that's involved here. So for the materialism, it could even be that you've learnt these habits and patterns from your childhood. You know, we learn a lot from our families, and not just, you know, not just the basics. We do have a lot of character traits that we do inherit. And, you know, managing resources is something that, you know, we observe without even realizing that we're observing it, because it's such a fundamental aspect of life. The next card that we have, the Page of Wands, and this is to clarify the Prudence, Seven of Discs. So the Page of Wands is all about new inspirations, new passion projects. So this Prudence could even be linked here, where you know, need to figure out, yes, financially what's working for you and what isn't, but also, you know, what you really do want to spend your money on, what you do want to put your passion and your time and your, you know, blood, sweat and tears into. With your resources, because obviously, you know, you need those resources to keep things going and all that. The next card we have is the King of Pentacles, and this is for the Queen of Cups. So we have a king and a queen. Even though he is the Earth King, it's quite a harmonious combination. He has a lot of financial resources, so he is a very stable character. He has all that he needs. He has more than he needs. So it's interesting here. Maybe even this queen is maybe guiding him on some level. She has the intuition. He has the resources, you know. Maybe there's some combined decision making going on here that's going to benefit them both. The next card we have is the Seven of Wands, and this is to clarify the Queen of Discs, the expression. So this is saying that you are feeling quite defensive, or this Queen of Discs anyway is feeling quite defensive. Maybe this is you, maybe this isn't you. That there is a sense of, you know, competition and
your friend hubby.
Yeah, you may be feeling quite defensive or protective, challenged, you know, opposed. There is, you know, a bit of a lonely feeling as well. Like, as you can see here, she's all on her own. Yeah, so there's a bit of defensiveness here with this Queen of Discs. And that's in their expression, because that's what this is about. So our central card, the Tower, is clarified by the High Priestess. So this is a really interesting combination. It even has a very transformative type of energy. You know, the Tower brings this chaotic energy, upheaval, you know, transformative even energy. And then the High Priestess is all about this inner wisdom, this inner knowing, this intuition. So it can really bring a greater self-awareness and wisdom into the experience. So it definitely signifies a time of spiritual growth and self-discovery. The Tower shakes us up out of our comfort zones and forces us to look within and confront our deepest fears and beliefs, while the High Priestess encourages us to go inwards and trust the guidance we receive from our higher selves. So listen to your inner voice at this time, trust the process, and know that the universe has your back. The next card we have to clarify the High Priest is the Earth Mother. So this is your Empress card. So she is a very abundant feminine force. She can represent pregnancy. So if that is possible for you, or, you know, in your life, be aware that having the High Priestess, which is all about manifestations, the High Priest, and then also the Empress, that's a very magical duo to have there. The next card we have for this initiation card to clarify is the Knight of Wands. So the Knight of Wands, they do represent a younger energy. Could be masculine or feminine, but of the fire suit. So it could be someone in your life that, say, like late teens to, you know, 30s, that kind of age range. and of the fire suit, so potentially like Aries, Leo, Sag, that kind of, those signs, or the first, fifth, and ninth houses, or, you know, the planets involved with those signs. So they're quite a passionate figure. They're very adventurous, and they love new projects. And it could even represent a journey. So you might even be going on an actual journey with this individual, and maybe even they will lead you to this initiation. So potentially you could be going on a trip, and that trip. So yeah, so that could be really significant as well. To clarify the Nine of Swords, the suffering card, we do have the moon. Having the moon with this Nine of Swords, this suffering, it could definitely have like a double meaning of the sleepless nights, you know, this moon kind of keeping you awake. The moon does signify, you know, anxiety as well, in that it always has an unknowable factor. There's a real mystery to the moon, mysterious energy, and maybe combining that with the anxieties could be really adding to that. You know, maybe there's this real fear of these uncertainties and these mysteries, and you know, your emotions are very heightened, and there could even be illusions here as well. However, just be aware that most of this is imagined. The moon would be exaggerating your imagination and making it so much more powerful. And it's really good to remember that, you know, trying to gain your clarity and your calm. So, you know, whether it is some kind of meditative practice, or, you know, going for a walk, or doing something that is comforting and normalizing, like not involved in these, you know, experiences that would stir up these fears. This will really help you find some inner peace at this time. There may even be some fears that you need to confront at this time rather than run away from them, because then you might realize that, you know, they're really not as powerful as you think they are. A lot of it is imagined, and that, you know, once that they're faced, some emotional healing can really help you to face your feelings and help you find compassion as well for what you are going through. To clarify the underworld, so this is this really transformative, you know, shadow kind of energy. We have the Four of Chalices. So the Four of Chalices is a bit of a funny combination. She's quite bored. She's not very content in her life. She's very discontent, not interested in what's going on around her. So, I mean, maybe this could be some of your shadow energies. Like maybe you've lost a bit of spark. You've lost your interest in things, which could be, you know, concerning, obviously. Try to do things that can kind of balance those energies, you know, like don't do things excessively, obviously, but do some things that, you know, do bring back that spark. So whether you're something that you liked when you were younger, or there's some activity that, you know, does feed your soul, make sure that you're incorporating that into your time. You know, maybe keeping a shadow journal could be good, but don't delve too hard and fast into it, kind of thing. You know, let it be a project that like evolves with your own experiences. Don't, you know, force it, because you might lose interest in it as well, and then you're not really working on it then, are you? The next cards I'm going to be using for you are the Earth Magic Oracle. On the bottom of the deck is the card Island Solitude. So there could be an underlying energy of feeling like an island, feeling really alone at this time, which we did have come up. I mean, a lot of these cards are lonesome figures. The children have each other, these two, but she's not really interested in this other person there. So it's interesting. The first card that we have, however, is the Dreamtime Creation. So this is all about But the way that we play with the world is how we create. In the Aboriginal Australian story, it's the story of the didgeridoo and how when they played it, it actually created the world, which reminds me a little bit of the Indian story of, I think it's Vishnu or Krishna with the conch shell. Sure, there's probably other ancient stories that are linked to music and creation as well. Maybe you are into music. Maybe music is even your passion project, or just being creative, like with art or some kind of media. And then we have for the central card, we have New Moon, Promise. And we do have a couple in the front of this card. So maybe this could be a new relationship, a new person, a new phase in a relationship. And it could very much be tied in with this new moon coming up very soon. And that new moon, I believe, will still be in True Sky Taurus. Yeah, it will be. And then we have Iceberg, Submerged. So this is normally talking about, you know, things that are hidden deep, hidden deep, and blocked. Really, there's like that iced, frozen energy there. And so this is linked to these fears, yeah, and this emotional. So this suffering and that is, maybe it's an inner thing, something you don't really share with others. That. So I'm doing a little smoke clearing here for some of this energy. I just feel like it's a bit too intense, especially for a Scorpio, you know. It's one of those signs that they have such deep emotions, and they can find it really hard to open up to others, and they can really struggle. So yeah, I'm just lit some. So yeah, I'm just trying to do a little bit of a smoke cleansing here. I'll just leave that, and also we've got the broom, so we'll just sweep some of this negative energy away as well. Yeah, that's a bit better. So the next cards I'm going to use to clarify are the Nature Speak Oracle. And on the bottom of the deck for you for this month, we have Forest, Awaken Your Magic, Ocean, Life, Death, and Rebirth. Wow. Tulip, Trust in Your Efforts, and Meadow, Growth and Abundance. Okay, that's a bit more positive. So we have for this, you know, managing the resources and the passion projects, this really creative energy. We've also got Life, Death, and Rebirth. So there might be an old project that you redo, you know, with this rebirth, or some new project, or the death of a project. So something could be ending, something new beginning, and something being kind of recreated at this time. And then for this Tower with the High Priestess, the Promise with the New Moon, we have the Tulip, Trust in Your Efforts. There's some trust in a promise. And it could even be to do with another. And then for the Suffering with the Moon, the submerged emotions of suffering, we have growth and abundance. So out of this experience, you're going to grow, and abundance in your life is going to be, you know, manifested as well in this growth period. So it sounds like you're going through some hard times, but there's some good times to come. The next cards I'm going to clarify with are the Green Witch Oracle. And on the bottom of the deck, we have Time, Presence, and Self-Awareness, Bird, Lavender, and Soil. Lovely. So for this Life, Death, Rebirth, Ocean, we have Bird, Freedom, and Opportunity. Lovely. So there's a new opportunity here, and an opportunity, you know, with this rebirth, and also a real freedom. So maybe with the death of something, it really frees up something in your life so that you can focus on what it is you really want to be doing. For the trust in your efforts, you've got tranquility, kindness, and self-care. So these are really important. So make sure you're doing some activities that keep you calm and happy. Be kind to others when you can, and yeah, do some good self-care, you know, whether it's having a bath maybe once a week with candles and crystals and salts and things, or going for a nature walk or meditative practice, you know, all these kinds of self-care things, skincare. So for the growth and abundance, we've got soil, stability, and simplicity. So there's some real earth grounding kind of energy that's going to be helping with this growth and abundance. I mean, this is how things grow, don't they? Out of the soil. So yeah, so make sure you are nourishing your soil, which is you. You know, you are that soil. You are that growth in your life. The last cards I'm going to use are the Australian wildflower cards, and on the bottom of the deck we have for you cattle bush, persistence. So persistence could be an underlying energy as well. You know, don't give up. Resilience is also another good quality. So for the first, the crowning card, we have Geraldton, wax, assertiveness. So it's actually native to Western Australia and flowers in winter through to early summer. So you need to speak up, show up, and do the work. You must be independent in thought and action. Things will slip away from you unless you jump into action now. The assertiveness of another may be hindering your progress too. It may be tempting to bow to pressure to save the peace, but it will only be a temporary fix. You have the internal strength and the inner wisdom, so go within. Geraldton wax gives you the confidence to speak out and the physical hardiness to carry on. The challenges involved are being either over-assertive and not being able to follow through with plans, or being too dependent on others. Being calm, respectful, and assertive at the right time is powerful. So that's interesting. So that is linked to this creative opportunity. And then the central card we have is kangaroo paw, forgiveness. So kangaroo paw is also, it's the floral emblem of Western Australia. So they grow in the plains, coastal heathlands, and the forests. Flower mostly in winter and spring. Now is the time to offer or accept the hand of forgiveness. Open your heart and let the healing begin. Kindness and a soft approach is most definitely the key to any situation. Being open, honest, calm, and forgiving will take you over any hurdles you face with ease. Grudges, both real and imagined, are hindering progress. There is a clear indication that in order to function at the higher energetic levels that are so close right now, these need to be addressed. As a healer, kangaroo paw enables a greater enjoyment of people and social situations to occur more easily. It opens the pathways to closer and more understanding relationship bonds, and is a heart chakra balancer for those who've been hurt and find forgiveness difficult. That is interesting. I mean, we do have, this is your central cards, we do have this really destructive energy and this, you know, high priestess, this inner knowing, but we also had this potential, I think maybe a new relationship or something. So this one is the heart healer. So that makes sense. Maybe there has been, you have had a relationship that's ended at this time and that you're trying to figure out how to move forward. Forgiveness is a really good, energy clearer, I think. So the base card we have for you is Sundew Focus. So Sundew is from the ranges and tablelands of New South Wales, parts of Queensland, most of Victoria and Tasmania, and also parts of South Australia. So it's a lot. I definitely see it around here. Spring and summer as the flowers. Your attention is being called to focus on a particular area of your life. There is good energy around you and you should be optimistic. You should get what it is you are seeking. A celebration, especially surrounding something you've desired and worked hard towards, should be on the horizon soon. This flower answers a firm yes to anything you're questioning. You should be extra alert right now and double check everything. As a challenge, Sundew is warning you not to become lazy or haphazard, or you will lose something important to you. As a healer, Sundew assists willpower issues and mental activities. So that's a lovely way to end that energy there with the suffering and the illusions and emotions, that submerged energy. But then we did have the growth and abundance, the stability, simplicity. So focus on the important things in your life and try not to let your fears get to you. So for the astrological musings for the month, which True Sky Scorpio at the moment actually doesn't have a lot in your sign currently. However, some of the planets would still be interacting or could be with your Scorpio placements. So we have currently Pluto in True Sky Capricorn, which could be sextiling your Scorpio placements. Also, potentially the North and South Node could be squaring your Scorpio placements. So this could be bringing some heavy energy in, potentially even from past actions, past lives, that kind of energy, and also future. So the past does affect the future. So this could be why it was suggesting that you are worrying a lot at the moment. Then we also do have Neptune and Saturn in True Sky Pisces, which could be trining your Scorpio placement. So there could definitely be some positive spiritual and also structural energies this month for you. And then also we do have Uranus in Taurus, which is interesting because it could be opposing your Scorpio placements. True Sky Scorpio and True Sky Uranus is in Taurus, which is your opposite sign, and you do have the Tower card as your central card for this reading. And to me, Uranus and the Tower card are very much linked. Uranus often signifies. So yeah, Uranus does signify, a lot of significant changes, and being in the sign of Taurus, it's really affecting all those Taurian things, which is Earth as well. That's that stability energy, and also finances, self-worth, beauty. A lot of these things are linked with Taurus. Also the sun, the sun is also in True Sky Taurus at the moment, so that could also be opposing your Scorpio placements. And it's going to move into True Sky Gemini on the 20th. So after that, it shouldn't be affecting you. So maybe you might find after the 20th, because it would be that challenging opposition from the sun. So it's quite a strong energy, and it can make you maybe feel a bit weak or a bit challenged by others. Maybe it could even be some of this Seven of Wands energy here. So also this month We do have, so currently we have Mercury, Venus and Jupiter in true sky Gemini, but they will move into true sky Cancer this month. And when they do, that they will be trining or could be trining your Scorpio placements from Cancer. So that could be a lot more positive energy coming in. And we did have that come up in the reading. So obviously 2 of those are benefic. So you've got Jupiter and Venus, very strong positive energies. So yeah, in the reading it did kind of say that things were going to be getting better for you. So I think as the month progresses, those energies should be more apparent. So I hope you have a fantastic month ahead. And if you've gotten this far and you've gotten anything out of the reading, if you could comment and or subscribe if you haven't already, that would be wonderful. If you have already, thank you so much. I really appreciate all the interactivity I get on this channel. And I'll be back again soon with another reading. Bye.